Okay. Here is a quick tutorial on how to get started on GarageBand on the iPad. I'm starting with a brand new session. There's nothing here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to the top right corner here and hit the plus sign. All right, and what it does is it brings up a tracks window, and you can see that right up here. You got all types of tracks. You got drums, amps, vocal recording if you want to hook up a mic, or you could even use the mic on the iPad to record your own vocals, demos, or whatever, full songs, strings, bass, guitars, world instruments. You have to go through these. Drummers. They even have external, if you want to use external instruments. We're going to keep it simple today and just work on keyboards. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a smart keyboard. Now, below each instrument, as you can see, there's different types of instruments within that instrument. So even though this is a keyboard, you still have a smart piano. They have an Alchemy synth. They have a sampler. Right? You can bring in samples from old records, and you can even get more sounds. But we're going to go to smart piano. All right, so here's the smart piano layout. And, you know, they're labeling the chords here: E minor, A minor, D minor, G major, C major, F major, B flat major, B diminished, right? And you could just drag across, drag your finger. Or tap on it. It's all finger touch. You know, double click, hold for a second, swipes. It's all the same. Now, let's just go through this real quick. We got the sustain, right? If I switch the sustain knob, and when I hit a chord, you know, I take my hand off, it keeps sustaining, right? It keeps playing. Of course, let's turn that off for now, and then we'll stop quick. We got the arpeggiator right here, right? You can run the arpeggiator. Remember, it separates the notes of the chords. So if I tap E minor, it'll make it sound like I really know what I'm doing. Let's turn that off for now. Now, let's say you want to practice piano, right? For whatever reason, you know, when you get better at piano, not just play the chords that they give you. Right? You can hit this the next button here, right? Where it's red. We're going to hit that one, and then we get the piano. So this is where you can practice, right? Practice your scales, your chords, right? You can do whatever. So over here on the starting on the left, where it has 0, you got the octaves, right? Go up and down different octaves. You got the sustain again. You have glissando, scroll, just different piano effects. You can even choose the scale if you know about your scales. Let's just do off right now. You can even do different layouts of the piano if you want. Change the velocities. It's all up to you. It's all customizable. Of course, you got arpeggio again, arpeggiator again, and you got the you can go back to the, I think they call it the smart controls. All right, let's say we want to record something with some piano. If we go up to the top right, you'll see a wrench. This is where we're going to start. And this is called the control bar, that whole lane across the top. So I got the wrench, right? This wrench is the settings for this session. I have my metronome and count in, my tempo, my time signature, key signature. You can do an automatic fade. Notepad if you want to take notes. You know, honestly, jam session. I'm sure you can connect with somebody else through internet. I got to check that one out later. So just simply, let's change the tempo. Now, I love that they have a tap tempo, right? If you bring in a sample, you can tap it home. You can change the tempo by just hitting it. Let's go to 112. Close it, right? And you just tap to close it. Metronome on, off, right? Your overall volume for your iPad. And they don't have much of a custom control bar here, but it's just back to the beginning, play, right, and record. And then I'll go through the rest here in a minute, but you know, the backwards circles undo. If you mess up, you can undo it. And then these 3 squares on the top left, here I'll point at them, 1, 2, and 3. These are pretty important. So let's go through these. But let's record something real quick. So I'm gonna go to the beginning. I'm just gonna hit record. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so cool. I messed up, right? But that's all right. We'll fix it. So how do I view this? I want to view this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to this, looks like some tracks, like some layers, almost like a brick wall. So we're going to select that. And that takes us into our main arrange window. And you can see your piano roll, right? Or the region, the main arrange window. Now, and I can edit this. If I just tap on it, right, I can, first of all, I can extend the regions out. But if I hold it down for like a few seconds, there we go. We get some options. We can cut it, we can copy it, delete it, loop it, split it, edit, rename, settings, all types of things. But one thing that's in here, and I'll show you two actually, is quantize, right? So if I go to settings of that region, of that track, here's all the settings, right? I can change the velocity, I can loop it, I can quantize it, I can change the octave, speed, even have reverse. I think some cool little settings here. So I'm just going to quantize mine. All right, let's just do 16th note quantize. And let's go back. All right, we're done. We can hit done. All right, I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to double click it. Let's go to edit. Let's say I want to edit these. Let's say I messed up and I want to change the lengths. I want to change the notes. If I hit edit, this takes me to the piano roll, right? Pretty cool. And of course, you can just drag it around, zoom in, zoom out, right? 2-finger drag is zoom in. But I can move the wrong notes. All right, just grab them, and as you can see, the little arrow pops up. I can change the lengths of the notes. There we go. Let's say I want to draw in my notes. Let's say, man, I can't play it in very good. Like I want to draw them in. Well, if you look to the top left corner, you'll see a pencil, right? And what you can do is you can slide it to the right, and it activates your finger. Essentially, your finger is now the pencil, and you can draw in notes. Or, you know, whatever you want. I'm just doing random stuff. And then, of course, I can undo it by hitting that back button. Undo all that stuff. And when you're done, slide it back. And then if you go to the top right corner, and of course, you can extend this out. You can do whatever you want as far as writing in the notes. And the top right corner says done. All right, so I'm back to here. I can see the tracks, right? If I just slide that out, and you can mute it. You can solo it. You can turn it up and down. You even have track settings. So if I go right where the piano is, right where the icon or whatever track it is, and I kind of, oops, didn't mean to do that. Sometimes you gotta get it just right. Come on now. There we go. So then you get the settings for the track, right? I can delete it, I can duplicate it, rename it, merge it. Merge is actually a really popular setting for this iPad. Automation, all they have for automation is volume automation, but it's better than nothing. There's little tricks you can do for other automation, but for selecting automation, that's pretty much it. You can change your icon, show and grid, etc., etc. All right, so if I wanted to add a new, well, let me keep going across the top here. Let's go to the third box from the left right here, the mixer. They call it a mixer, but it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't really call it a mixer. But it's the settings for the track. So of course you can do track volume, track pan. Here's your, your pan, solo, and mute again. But here's where you can add plugins, and they give you a compressor real quick, like just a 1 fader compressor and like a 2-channel EQ, treble bass. But you can add more. So if you hit the plugin EQ, you can see a list. And if you hit edit, right, you can see a list of all the plugins. So now I can add more. Right, you can only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plugins, and you can move these around. Same with the EQ at the top. The EQ is nice. If you select the EQ, well, I guess I have to go done first. I'll come back to that. But if I hit none, right, I can add a new effect. Right, I can add a new plugin. So let's say I want to add some echo. Right, we can repeat it. What time? You want quarter notes, 16th notes, 8th notes, triplets, dotteds, the wet dry mix. And again, they don't give you a whole lot of options, but it's cool. Better than nothing, right? Turn the compressor on. Right, here's your compressor threshold, ratio, attack, gain, release. Again, with the EQ, I can visualize it. I'm not sure. I don't think you can add more than 3 bands. You got a shelf, a peak, and another shelf. And you got an analyzer, which is always nice. And just click done. Cool. And so you can add more plugins. You can actually buy more plugins. If you look at audio unit extensions, you can find more on the App Store. And you can buy more plugins if that's what you want to do. Another day for that. Let's go back. Let's get out of there. Go back to our main window here. Just click the mixer again. All right, cool. So yeah, so I'm playing. You know, I can loop this out. I can double it. Again, just double click the region. Let's say I want to loop it and just keep it going. If I want to add another track, I hit this first square, and now I'm back to my track window, right? So let's say I want to add a voice, right? And you can add these crazy effects and kind of have fun with it. That's on you. I'll just keep it clean for now. Let's go back to our range window, and you can see my vocals is coming through. Hello, everyone. Trying to sound like Lamar. But yeah, you can record some vocals in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just. Oh, that's off. That was really bad. So anyway, we can record some, right? But we can also, if you notice, when you bring up an audio track, there's a loop option up here, right? So that little looper. So now I can drag in loops, and you can drag in all the loops that they give you. So let's say, all right, and then I can just drag that guy in. Let's stop that. I don't need you to play. So what I can do is just hold it and just drag it in, and now it's in my session. And of course, I can just tap on that region, you know, and you got your options here, right, for that region. And again, I can just hold down the tracks and move them around. I like my drums on top. So whatever. And again, you can just create and get as creative as you need to be, right? And again, you can add more tracks and just keep going. The effects, I'm not going to get into too deep on the effects here. It's basically live programming. It's almost like a DJ where you can add like live filtering or live stutter effects, right? Or live DJ effects or slow down effects. We can do another video with this later. Repeater. It gets a little more complicated, but you record it onto the entire track. It gets a little more complicated when you want that just on one track, but you can do that. You almost have to bounce down as you go. I could do that in another video, something to mess around with. All right, last thing I want to show you guys is just how to bounce. I'm going to go to My Songs in the top left corner. Right, and you can see there's my session. I'm just going to tap it. Hopefully it doesn't open. There we go. And then to bounce it or to submit something, you know, I want to hit share. And when you hit share, you can go to song, right? And then you can choose what type of track. Usually it's either high quality MP3 or 44.1 16-bit. You can name it, do whatever down here, hit share. And then when you share it, you can save it to your iPad with save to files, or you can text it to yourself or email it to yourself and then submit it from there. All right. So that's it. That's my quick tutorial on how to use the GarageBand on iPad. Peace.